The hidden kitchen. Poison quietly destroying your kidneys. Have you ever wondered why so many people over the age of 50 are suddenly being diagnosed with chronic kidney disease, even though they've never smoked, rarely drink alcohol, and believe they eat a fairly healthy diet? As a nephrologist, I've heard the same heartbreaking sentence hundreds of times. "Doctor, I never felt anything was wrong." And that's exactly what makes kidney disease so dangerous. Unlike a heart attack or a stroke, your kidneys don't usually send dramatic warning signs. They don't scream for help. Instead, they quietly lose function year after year until one day, nearly half of their filtering ability is gone, and only then do the symptoms begin to appear. What's even more alarming is that many of the habits responsible for this damage don't seem dangerous at all. In fact, one of the biggest threats is probably sitting in your kitchen right now. You may have eaten it this morning. You may even believe it's part of a healthy diet. Yet research has repeatedly linked it to high blood pressure, diabetes, chronic inflammation, and progressive kidney damage, the very conditions that send millions of Americans to dialysis every year. Today, I'm going to reveal the 4 biggest everyday kidney poisons I see over and over again in my patients. We'll begin with one that isn't even a food. Then we'll move through a common medication almost everyone has at home, a hidden ingredient found in most processed foods. And finally, we'll uncover the #1 offender, the silent destroyer, responsible for more kidney failure than almost anything else in the modern diet. But this isn't about fear. It's about prevention. Because once kidney tissue is permanently scarred, modern medicine has very limited ways to restore it. That's why the decisions you make today matter far more than the treatments you may need tomorrow. The good news? Most kidney damage caused by lifestyle develops slowly, which means you often have time to change the direction before it's too late. Throughout this video, I'll explain not only what damages your kidneys, but also why it happens, who is most at risk after age 50, and the simple daily habits that can dramatically reduce your chances of developing chronic kidney disease. By the end of this video, you'll probably look at your kitchen and your daily routine in a completely different way. So stay with me until the end. Because the #1 kidney poison surprises almost everyone, and avoiding it may be one of the smartest health decisions you'll ever make. Part 2. Why your kidneys become more vulnerable after 50. Before we reveal the first poison, there's something every adult over 50 needs to understand. Age changes the rules. Many people believe that if they've eaten the same foods for decades without problems, there's no reason to worry now. Unfortunately, that's not how the kidneys work. Think of your kidneys as 2 incredibly advanced water filtration systems that have been running every second of every day since the day you were born. Unlike a household filter that gets replaced every few months, your kidneys have been filtering nearly 50 gallons of blood every single day for decades. That's an enormous workload. In your 20s and 30s, your kidneys usually have plenty of reserve capacity. They can recover from occasional unhealthy meals, dehydration, or even short periods of illness. But after the age of 50, that reserve slowly begins to shrink. This doesn't mean your kidneys suddenly become weak. It simply means they become less forgiving. Every year, tiny amounts of wear and tear accumulate inside millions of microscopic filters called nephrons. These filters are incredibly delicate. Once they're damaged, the body cannot replace them. Instead, the remaining healthy filters are forced to work even harder. At first, this extra workload seems harmless. In fact, many people with early kidney disease have completely normal blood tests and feel perfectly healthy. That's why kidney disease has earned a frightening nickname among doctors: the silent disease. It often develops for years without causing pain. No warning alarm, no obvious symptoms, no dramatic signs. While everything seems normal on the outside, microscopic scarring continues inside the kidneys. Then one day, patients begin noticing swollen ankles, persistent fatigue, muscle cramps, foamy urine, or blood pressure that suddenly becomes difficult to control. By the time these symptoms appear, significant kidney function may already be gone. And that's why prevention is so powerful. Now here's something even more important. The biggest enemies of your kidneys usually don't attack them directly. Instead, they attack through two other diseases: high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes. Together, these two conditions account for the majority of chronic kidney disease cases worldwide. Think of high blood pressure like turning a garden hose to maximum pressure all day, every day. The tiny blood vessels inside the kidneys were never designed to withstand that constant force. Eventually, they begin to weaken, scar, and lose their ability to filter waste properly. Diabetes causes a different kind of damage. When blood sugar stays elevated for years, excess glucose begins damaging the walls of these tiny filters. Protein starts leaking into the urine. Inflammation increases. Scar tissue develops. Little by little, healthy kidney tissue is replaced by tissue that can no longer perform its job. The tragedy is that both of these diseases often develop silently as well. Many people don't know they have high blood pressure. Many don't realize they're pre-diabetic. So while they feel perfectly fine, their kidneys are quietly paying the price. That's why everything we're about to discuss matters. Each of the next 4 kidney poisons either raises blood pressure, increases blood sugar, promotes chronic inflammation, or directly reduces blood flow to the kidneys. Individually, they may not seem devastating, but together, year after year, they create the perfect environment for chronic kidney disease. Let's begin with the first one. Ironically, it isn't something you eat. It's something millions of people stop doing every single day. Part 3. Poison #4. Sitting too much is slowly starving your kidneys. Let's begin with the first poison. It may surprise you because it isn't found in your refrigerator, your pantry, or your coffee cup. It's something millions of Americans do for hours every single day. They sit, watching television, working at a computer, driving, reading, scrolling on their phones. Many people think sitting only affects the back, the joints, or weight gain. But very few realize what it does to the kidneys. To understand this, imagine your kidneys as 2 highly efficient water treatment plants. For these plants to work properly, they need a constant supply of clean, oxygen-rich blood. Blood is their fuel. Without adequate circulation, every tiny filter inside the kidneys receives less oxygen and fewer nutrients. Now imagine a fast-moving river. The water stays clean because it never stops flowing. Now compare that to a stagnant pond. The water becomes dirty. Debris builds up. Everything begins to slow down. Your circulation works much the same way. Every time you walk, climb stairs, stretch, or simply move around, your heart pumps more efficiently. Blood flows more freely through every organ, including your kidneys. But when you remain seated for hours without moving, circulation slows. The muscles in your legs become inactive. Blood flow becomes less efficient. Over time, this contributes to several conditions that place enormous stress on your kidneys. The first is high blood pressure. Physical inactivity causes blood vessels to become less flexible. The heart has to pump harder to move blood throughout the body. As pressure rises, the delicate filtering units inside the kidneys are exposed to constant mechanical stress. Tiny blood vessels begin to scar. The second problem is insulin resistance. Your muscles are one of the body's biggest users of glucose. When they stay inactive for long periods, they remove less sugar from the bloodstream. As a result, blood sugar stays elevated longer after meals. Over months and years, this increases the risk of developing type 2 diabetes, the leading cause of kidney failure worldwide. The third issue is weight gain. Extra body weight doesn't just affect appearance. It forces the kidneys to work harder every minute of every day. More body tissue requires more blood filtration. The kidneys become overworked. Eventually, this constant overload can accelerate the loss of healthy kidney function. Then there's inflammation. Long periods of inactivity increase chronic low-grade inflammation throughout the body. This silent inflammation damages blood vessels, including the microscopic vessels inside the kidneys that are responsible for filtering waste. What's dangerous is that none of this happens overnight. No pain, no warning. Just thousands of tiny injuries accumulating year after year. I've seen patients whose kidney function steadily declined, despite never having obvious symptoms. When we reviewed their lifestyle, one pattern appeared again and again. They barely moved. Not because they were lazy, because retirement, chronic joint pain, desk jobs, or simple daily habits had gradually reduced their activity without them noticing. The encouraging news is that this is also one of the easiest kidney poisons to fight. You don't need expensive equipment. You don't need to run marathons. You don't even need a gym membership. Start by breaking up long periods of sitting. If you've been sitting for an hour, stand up. Walk through the house for 2 or 3 minutes. Stretch your legs. Roll your shoulders. Walk while talking on the phone. Take the stairs whenever possible. Park a little farther from the entrance. These small movements may seem insignificant, but together, they improve circulation throughout your entire body. Aim for at least 30 minutes of walking most days of the week. If that's too difficult, begin with 10 minutes. Then gradually increase your time as your strength improves. Even gentle walking helps lower blood pressure, improves blood sugar control, reduces inflammation, and supports healthier kidney function. Remember, your kidneys were designed to work with a body that moves. Every step you take helps deliver fresh blood to the millions of tiny filters working tirelessly to keep you alive. And while a sedentary lifestyle quietly harms the kidneys over many years, the next poison can begin reducing kidney blood flow almost immediately after you take it. It's sitting inside medicine cabinets in millions of homes, and most people have no idea it can become dangerous when used too often. Part 4. Poison #3. The pain reliever that can quietly damage your kidneys. Now let's move to poison number 3. Unlike the first poison, this one doesn't come from inactivity. It comes from something millions of people trust every single day. A small pill. Maybe you take it for back pain, knee arthritis, headaches, shoulder pain, or the aches that naturally become more common as we get older. I'm talking about a group of medications called non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, or NSAIDs. You probably know them by familiar names like ibuprofen, naproxen, or diclofenac. These medications can be very effective at relieving pain. When used occasionally and correctly, they are generally safe for many healthy adults. The problem begins when they become part of your daily routine. This is something I see far too often. A patient develops chronic knee pain. They begin taking one pill every day. Months become years. The pain feels manageable. But quietly, another problem is developing. Their kidney function begins to decline. The frightening part is that they usually don't connect the two. So why does this happen? Let's simplify it. Your kidneys depend on thousands of tiny blood vessels delivering oxygen every second. To keep these blood vessels open, your body produces natural substances called prostaglandins. Think of prostaglandins as traffic controllers. Their job is to keep blood flowing smoothly into the kidneys. NSAIDs work by blocking these substances. That's exactly how they reduce pain and inflammation. But they can't tell the difference between prostaglandins causing pain and prostaglandins protecting your kidneys. As a result, blood vessels leading into the kidneys become narrower. Less blood arrives. Less oxygen reaches the kidney tissue. Now imagine watering your garden with a hose. Everything grows beautifully. Suddenly, someone steps on the hose. Water slows to a trickle. The plants begin to suffer. Your kidneys experience something very similar. One dose usually isn't enough to cause permanent damage in a healthy person. But repeated use, week after week, month after month, can slowly reduce blood flow again and again. Eventually, delicate kidney filters begin to scar. Some stop functioning completely. The risk becomes even greater if you're over 60. Or if you already have high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, or mild kidney disease you don't even know about. Add dehydration during hot weather, or combine NSAIDs with certain blood pressure medications, and the danger increases even further. I've treated patients who believed they were protecting their quality of life by controlling pain. Instead, they unknowingly created a second problem that required years of medical treatment. Now, let me be clear. This doesn't mean you should fear every pain reliever. It means you should respect them. Never assume that because a medication is sold without a prescription, it's completely harmless. Many over-the-counter products contain NSAIDs without people realizing it. Cold medicines, flu remedies, combination pain products, even some sleep medications. Always read the label carefully. If you need pain medicine for more than a few days, don't simply continue taking pills. Ask your healthcare provider why the pain is happening. Treating the cause is always better than masking the symptom. Depending on your medical history, your doctor may recommend safer alternatives, such as acetaminophen for certain situations, physical therapy, stretching exercises, heat therapy, weight reduction, or other treatments that place less stress on the kidneys. Pain deserves attention, but so do your kidneys. Because once kidney tissue is permanently damaged, no painkiller in the world can bring it back. And while these medications can quietly reduce blood flow to your kidneys, the next poison attacks them every single time you sit down for a meal. It's hiding in foods that don't even taste salty. And chances are, you're eating far more of it than you realize. Part 5. Poison #2. Hidden salt. The kidney killer you rarely taste. Now we've reached poison number 2. Most people believe they already know what it is. They immediately point to the salt shaker sitting on the dinner table. But here's the surprising truth. For most Americans, the salt shaker isn't the biggest problem. The real danger is the sodium hiding inside processed foods. In fact, the majority of the sodium people consume every day doesn't come from the salt they sprinkle on their meals. It comes from foods that were packaged, preserved, or prepared long before they ever reached your kitchen. Bread, breakfast cereals, frozen dinners, canned soups, processed meats, cheese, pizza, sandwiches, fast food, salad dressings. Even foods that don't taste particularly salty can contain astonishing amounts of sodium. That's why so many people tell me, "Doctor, I hardly use salt." Yet their blood pressure continues to climb. Their kidneys continue to weaken, and they have no idea why. To understand how sodium harms the kidneys, imagine your bloodstream as a carefully balanced river. Your body constantly works to keep the amount of water and sodium in perfect balance. When you consume far more sodium than your body needs, your bloodstream becomes overloaded. Your body can't simply ignore it. Instead, it begins holding on to extra water to dilute that sodium. More water means more blood volume. More blood volume means higher pressure inside your arteries. And higher pressure forces your kidneys to work much harder than they were designed to. Picture trying to wash a delicate silk cloth with a high-pressure fire hose. At first, nothing seems wrong, but over time, the fabric begins to tear. That's exactly what uncontrolled high blood pressure does to the microscopic blood vessels inside your kidneys. Every heartbeat pushes against these fragile filters. Day after day, month after month, year after year, tiny injuries begin to appear. Scar tissue replaces healthy filtering tissue. The kidneys gradually lose their ability to remove waste products and excess fluid. The frightening part is that high blood pressure often causes no symptoms. Many people feel perfectly fine while silent damage continues inside their kidneys. That's why hypertension is often called the silent killer. And unfortunately, it becomes a silent kidney killer as well. But sodium doesn't stop there. Excess sodium can also increase fluid retention throughout the body. Many people notice swollen feet, puffy ankles, or rings becoming tighter than usual. These may seem like minor inconveniences, but they can also be signs that your kidneys are struggling to maintain balance. Another problem is that high sodium diets often go hand in hand with highly processed foods. These foods usually contain excess sugar, unhealthy fats, artificial additives, and very little fiber. Together, they create the perfect environment for obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and chronic kidney disease. Fortunately, protecting yourself isn't about eliminating all salt forever. Your body actually needs some sodium to function normally. The goal is to reduce the hidden sodium that quietly accumulates throughout the day. Start reading nutrition labels. You'll be amazed how much sodium is packed into foods that seem perfectly healthy. Compare different brands. Sometimes one product contains twice as much sodium as another. Cook at home more often whenever possible. Fresh ingredients allow you to control exactly how much salt goes into your meals. Instead of depending on salt for flavor, experiment with herbs and spices. Garlic, black pepper, paprika, rosemary, oregano, turmeric, fresh lemon juice, vinegar. These ingredients add incredible flavor without overwhelming your kidneys. If you buy canned vegetables or beans, rinse them thoroughly under running water. That one simple habit can remove a significant amount of added sodium. And remember, your taste buds adapt. Many people believe low-sodium food will taste bland forever. But after just a few weeks, your palate begins to change. Foods you once thought needed extra salt suddenly taste perfectly satisfying. Every small reduction in sodium helps lower blood pressure. Every improvement in blood pressure gives your kidneys a chance to breathe. But as damaging as hidden sodium can be, it still isn't the greatest threat. The number one poison attacks from multiple directions at once. It raises blood sugar, increases inflammation, promotes obesity, raises blood pressure, and over time, it becomes the leading cause of kidney failure around the world. Let's reveal the silent enemy that millions of people consume every single day without realizing the damage it's causing. Part 6. Poison #1. Sugar and refined carbohydrates. The silent road to kidney failure. We've reached the final poison, and if you've been waiting for some rare chemical or mysterious ingredient, you may be surprised. The greatest threat to your kidneys isn't hidden in an expensive supplement. It isn't an exotic toxin. It's something millions of people eat several times every single day. Sugar. And its closest partner, refined carbohydrates. White bread, white rice, sweetened breakfast cereals, cookies, pastries, candy, soft drinks, sweet coffee drinks, fruit juices with added sugar, desserts. Even foods marketed as low-fat or healthy often contain large amounts of added sugar. As a nephrologist, I can tell you something I wish more people understood. Sugar rarely attacks the kidneys directly. Instead, it quietly creates the perfect conditions for kidney failure. Think of it as the mastermind behind several different attacks happening at the same time. Let's start with the first one. Attack number 1. Type 2 diabetes. Every time you consume a meal loaded with sugar or refined carbohydrates, your blood sugar rises rapidly. Your pancreas responds by releasing insulin. Its job is simple. Move sugar from your bloodstream into your cells where it can be used for energy. Occasionally, that's completely normal. But when this happens breakfast after breakfast, lunch after lunch, dessert after dessert, year after year, your cells begin responding less effectively to insulin. Doctors call this insulin resistance. To compensate, the pancreas produces even more insulin. For a while, it keeps blood sugar under control. Eventually, however, the pancreas can't keep up. Blood sugar remains elevated. That's when type 2 diabetes begins. Now the kidneys face an entirely new problem. Their tiny filtering units are constantly exposed to excess glucose. Imagine pouring thick syrup through a delicate coffee filter every single day. Eventually, that filter begins to clog. The same thing happens inside the kidneys. High blood sugar damages microscopic blood vessels. Protein begins leaking into the urine. Scar tissue gradually replaces healthy filtering tissue. This condition is called diabetic kidney disease, and it's one of the leading reasons people eventually require dialysis. Attack number 2. High blood pressure. Many people blame only salt for hypertension, but excessive sugar plays an important role as well. Diets high in added sugars increase insulin resistance. They contribute to weight gain. They make blood vessels less flexible. All of these changes place additional stress on the cardiovascular system. As blood pressure rises, the kidneys suffer another wave of damage. Now they're being attacked from 2 directions at once. High blood sugar and high blood pressure. It's a combination that dramatically accelerates kidney decline. Attack number 3. Chronic inflammation. Sugar also fuels chronic inflammation throughout the body. Unlike the redness or swelling you see after an injury, this inflammation is invisible. It quietly damages blood vessels. It affects the heart, the brain, the liver, and the kidneys. Little by little, healthy tissue is replaced with scar tissue. Without realizing it, many people spend years feeding this inflammatory process every single day. Attack number 4. Obesity and fatty liver. When your body receives more sugar than it can immediately use, the excess doesn't simply disappear. Much of it is converted into fat. This fat accumulates around the abdomen, inside the liver, around internal organs. Obesity forces the kidneys to filter more blood than normal. Doctors call this hyperfiltration. At first, the kidneys seem to work harder, but over time, that constant overload causes them to wear out much faster. It's similar to driving a car at maximum speed every day. Eventually, something begins to fail. This is why obesity, fatty liver disease, diabetes, and kidney disease are so closely connected. They aren't separate illnesses. They're often different chapters of the same story. The encouraging news is that this poison is also one of the most controllable. You don't have to eliminate every gram of sugar forever. The goal is to dramatically reduce the foods that cause repeated blood sugar spikes. Start with sugary drinks, soft drinks, sweet tea, energy drinks, sweetened coffee beverages. These are among the fastest ways to overload your bloodstream with sugar. Replace them with water, sparkling water, unsweetened tea, or plain coffee without added sugar whenever possible. Next, choose whole foods more often than packaged foods. Fresh vegetables, whole fruit, beans, fish, eggs, nuts, plain yogurt. These foods provide fiber, protein, and healthy fats that help keep blood sugar far more stable. When choosing grains, replace refined versions with whole grains whenever possible. Whole oats instead of sugary cereal. Brown rice instead of white rice. Whole grain bread instead of white bread. The fiber slows digestion, reducing sudden spikes in blood sugar. Finally, become an ingredient label detective. Sugar hides under dozens of different names. High fructose corn syrup, cane syrup, dextrose, sucrose, maltose, rice syrup, honey powder, agave syrup. They may have different names, but your body processes them in very similar ways. Every healthier choice you make reduces the burden on your kidneys. Every meal becomes an opportunity to protect them instead of slowly wearing them down. We've now uncovered all 4 everyday kidney poisons. But before we finish, there's one question almost every patient asks me. Doctor, have I already damaged my kidneys beyond repair? Let's answer that next. Part 7. Can your kidneys recover? Here's what every adult over 50 needs to know. By now, you may be asking yourself one very important question. Doctor, have I already damaged my kidneys? It's a question I hear almost every day. And my answer is always the same. It depends on how early you take action. One of the greatest misconceptions about kidney disease is believing that once damage begins, nothing can be done. That isn't entirely true. While it's true that severely scarred kidney tissue usually cannot regenerate, your remaining healthy kidney tissue can often be protected, and sometimes kidney function can even improve when the underlying cause is treated early. Think about a house with 4 support pillars. If one pillar becomes damaged, the house can still stand. But if you continue placing more and more weight on the remaining 3 pillars, eventually they begin to crack as well. Now imagine removing some of that weight before the other pillars fail. The house becomes stable again. Your kidneys work in a very similar way. When some filtering units stop working, the healthy ones compensate. They filter more blood. They work harder. At first, this keeps everything functioning normally. But over time, that extra workload begins damaging the healthy filters too. This process is called hyperfiltration. It's one reason chronic kidney disease often progresses slowly for many years before suddenly getting worse. The encouraging news is that reducing this workload can slow that progression dramatically. The first step is controlling blood pressure. For many people, lowering blood pressure by even a small amount significantly reduces stress on the kidneys. The second step is improving blood sugar control. Every day your blood sugar stays within a healthy range is another day your kidneys avoid unnecessary injury. The third step is staying properly hydrated. Many people assume drinking excessive amounts of water will flush or clean the kidneys. That's another myth. Healthy kidneys don't need gallons of water to clean themselves. They simply need consistent hydration. Drink enough so your urine remains pale yellow most of the time, unless your healthcare provider has instructed you to limit fluids because of heart or kidney disease. Another powerful habit is avoiding smoking. Smoking narrows blood vessels throughout the body. That means less oxygen reaches the kidneys. Over time, smoking accelerates the loss of kidney function and increases the risk of heart disease at the same time. Sleep is another overlooked factor. During sleep, your body repairs damaged tissues, regulates hormones, and helps control blood pressure. Poor sleep has been linked to higher risks of diabetes, hypertension, and chronic inflammation, all major threats to kidney health. Exercise also deserves another mention, not because it directly heals the kidneys, but because it improves almost every condition that harms them. Lower blood pressure, better blood sugar control, weight management, reduced inflammation, improved circulation. One simple habit influences dozens of biological processes working together to protect your kidneys. Most importantly, don't wait until symptoms appear. Kidney disease is often called a silent disease because symptoms usually arrive late. That's why regular health checkups become increasingly important after age 50. Simple blood and urine tests can often detect problems years before you ever notice them. Finding kidney disease early gives you something incredibly valuable. Time. Time to change your lifestyle. Time to protect the healthy kidney tissue you still have. Time to avoid dialysis and maintain your independence for years to come. Unfortunately, many people don't discover there's a problem until the kidneys have already lost most of their function. That's exactly why I wanted to make this video. Not to frighten you, but to help you act while you still have the opportunity. Because protecting your kidneys isn't about making one perfect decision. It's about making better decisions consistently. And before we finish, there are several early warning signs that many people ignore because they seem harmless. Recognizing these signs could encourage someone to seek medical attention much sooner. Let's go through them together. Part 8. 7. Early warning signs. Your kidneys may be asking for help. One of the biggest reasons chronic kidney disease is so dangerous is that it often develops quietly. Many people feel completely normal. They continue working, traveling, spending time with family, living life as usual. Meanwhile, their kidneys are gradually losing function. That's why it's so important to recognize the warning signs your body may be giving you. None of these symptoms automatically mean you have kidney disease, but if several of them appear together, especially if you're over 50, they deserve a conversation with your healthcare provider. Warning sign number 1. Persistent fatigue. Do you wake up feeling tired even after a full night's sleep? Many people blame aging, but your kidneys help produce a hormone called erythropoietin. This hormone tells your bone marrow to make red blood cells. When kidney function declines, fewer red blood cells are produced. Less oxygen reaches your muscles and brain. As a result, you may feel unusually exhausted, weak, or mentally foggy. It's not normal to feel completely drained every day. Sometimes your kidneys are quietly contributing to that fatigue. Warning sign number 2. Swollen feet or ankles. Healthy kidneys remove excess salt and water from your body. When they begin losing efficiency, fluid starts accumulating in the tissues. You may notice shoes feeling tighter, socks leaving deep marks, swollen ankles at the end of the day, or puffiness around the feet. While swelling can have many causes, persistent fluid retention should never be ignored. Warning sign number 3. Changes in urination. Your urine provides valuable clues about kidney health. Pay attention if you notice needing to urinate much more often at night, very little urine despite drinking enough fluids, foamy urine that doesn't quickly disappear, blood in the urine, or urine that suddenly becomes much darker than usual. Foamy urine is especially important because it may indicate protein leaking through damaged kidney filters. Healthy kidneys normally keep protein inside your bloodstream, not in your urine. Warning sign number 4. High blood pressure that becomes difficult to control. Many people don't realize this relationship works both ways. High blood pressure damages the kidneys, but damaged kidneys also make blood pressure harder to control. If your blood pressure continues rising despite medication and healthy habits, your kidneys may deserve closer evaluation. Warning sign number 5. Muscle cramps. Frequent leg cramps, especially at night, may simply be dehydration. But they can also result from electrolyte imbalances caused by declining kidney function. Healthy kidneys carefully regulate minerals such as potassium, calcium, and sodium. When this balance becomes disrupted, muscles often respond with painful cramping. Warning sign number 6. Loss of appetite or nausea. As kidney function decreases, waste products begin accumulating in the bloodstream. This buildup can affect the digestive system. Some people notice food no longer tastes the same. Others lose their appetite completely. Some develop persistent nausea without another obvious explanation. These symptoms usually appear later in kidney disease, which is why they should never be ignored. Warning sign number 7. Itchy skin. Healthy kidneys help remove waste and maintain the proper balance of minerals in your blood. When they struggle, toxins and mineral imbalances may contribute to persistent itching. Many patients spend months treating their skin with creams and lotions without realizing the real issue may be happening inside their kidneys. Remember, none of these symptoms confirm kidney disease. Many other medical conditions can cause them. But ignoring them allows potential problems to continue unnoticed. That's why routine blood tests and simple urine tests become increasingly valuable after age 50. They often detect kidney problems years before symptoms become severe. The earlier kidney disease is discovered, the more options you have to slow or even prevent further damage. Now let's bring everything together with the most important lessons from today's discussion, and the simple daily habits that can help protect your kidneys for years to come. Part 9. Your Daily Kidney Protection Plan. 7 simple habits that make a real difference. We've talked about the 4 biggest everyday threats to your kidneys. Now let's focus on something much more encouraging. What can you start doing today? The good news is that protecting your kidneys doesn't require expensive supplements or complicated diets. In fact, the most powerful changes are often the simplest ones. Let's go through 7 daily habits that kidney specialists encourage patients to adopt. Habit number 1. Make water your primary drink. Your kidneys rely on adequate hydration to remove waste products efficiently. That doesn't mean forcing yourself to drink excessive amounts of water. More isn't always better. The goal is consistency. For most healthy adults, drinking water regularly throughout the day is enough to keep urine light yellow. If your doctor has placed you on fluid restrictions because of kidney or heart disease, always follow their recommendations instead. Whenever possible, replace sugary beverages with plain water, sparkling water without added sugar, or unsweetened tea. One simple substitution each day can significantly reduce your sugar intake over time. Habit number 2. Fill half your plate with vegetables. Vegetables provide fiber, antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals that support overall health. Fiber slows the absorption of sugar after meals, helping keep blood sugar more stable. Many colorful vegetables are also naturally low in calories, making weight management easier. The healthier your metabolism becomes, the less stress your kidneys have to endure. Habit number 3. Move every day. Remember what we discussed earlier. Movement improves circulation, helps control blood pressure, supports healthy blood sugar, reduces inflammation. Even a 30-minute walk can have meaningful health benefits. If walking continuously feels difficult, divide it into 3 10-minute walks throughout the day. The total movement still counts. Consistency matters far more than perfection. Habit number 4. Know your numbers. Many people carefully monitor their weight. Far fewer know their blood pressure, fasting blood sugar, or kidney function. Yet these numbers tell a much more important story. After age 50, regular checkups become one of the smartest investments you can make. Simple blood work and a urine test can detect kidney problems long before symptoms appear. Early detection gives you options. Late detection often limits them. Habit number 5. Take medications wisely. Never assume that over-the-counter automatically means risk-free. Use pain medications only as directed. Avoid taking NSAIDs every day unless specifically advised by your healthcare provider. Always let your doctor know about vitamins, herbal supplements, and non-prescription medications. Some combinations may place unnecessary stress on your kidneys. Habit number 6. Protect your blood pressure and blood sugar every day. Healthy kidneys depend on healthy blood vessels. Every time you choose a balanced meal, go for a walk, lose excess weight, or take your prescribed medications consistently, you're helping preserve those tiny blood vessels inside your kidneys. Think of every healthy decision as another layer of protection. Habit number 7. Don't wait for symptoms. This may be the most important lesson of all. Kidney disease doesn't always announce itself. Waiting until you feel sick often means waiting too long. If you're over 50, have diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, or a family history of kidney disease, regular screening should become part of your routine health care. A simple test today may prevent major complications years from now. Remember, your kidneys work 24 hours a day. They never take a vacation. They filter your blood while you sleep, while you work, while you enjoy time with your family. Most of us never think about them until something goes wrong. But they quietly keep every other organ functioning properly. Taking care of them isn't complicated. It's simply the result of making good decisions repeatedly. One healthier meal, one walk, one bottle of water, one medical checkup. Those small choices accumulate just as powerfully as unhealthy habits do. Now, before we finish, let me leave you with one final message that I hope you'll remember every time you sit down for your next meal. Part 10. Final thoughts and call to action. Today we've uncovered 4 silent threats that may be harming your kidneys without you even realizing it. First, a sedentary lifestyle that slows circulation and increases the risk of obesity, diabetes, and high blood pressure. Second, The frequent use of common pain relievers that can gradually reduce blood flow to the kidneys when taken too often. Third, hidden sodium lurking inside processed foods, quietly raising blood pressure and placing constant stress on your kidney filters. And finally, the number one offender: added sugar and refined carbohydrates, the driving force behind type 2 diabetes, chronic inflammation, obesity, and ultimately, one of the leading causes of kidney failure worldwide. If there's one message I hope you take away today, it's this: kidney disease is not inevitable. Growing older does not automatically mean losing kidney function. Many of the biggest risk factors are influenced by the choices we make every day. No one expects you to change your entire lifestyle overnight. Real success comes from small improvements repeated consistently. Drink more water instead of soda. Take a short walk after dinner. Read nutrition labels before putting products into your shopping cart. Choose whole foods more often than processed foods. Schedule regular checkups instead of waiting until symptoms appear. These may seem like small decisions, but over months and years, they become powerful investments in your future health. Remember, your kidneys are among the hardest working organs in your body. They ask for very little, yet they give you everything. They clean your blood, balance your fluids, support healthy blood pressure, protect your bones, help produce red blood cells. They work for you every second of every day without asking for recognition. Perhaps today is the perfect time to return the favor. If this video helped you better understand how to protect your kidneys, I encourage you to share it with someone you care about: a family member, a friend, a spouse. Sometimes one simple conversation can change someone's future. And if you'd like more evidence-based health advice, designed especially for adults over 50, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss upcoming videos. Now I'd love to hear from you. Which of today's 4 kidney poisons surprised you the most? Leave your answer in the comments below. Thank you for spending these minutes with me. Take good care of your kidneys. Take good care of yourself. And I'll see you in the next video.